Holy fucking shit, I'm never doing this storytelling kind of video. It's my 5th time trying to take this fucking voiceover because my microphone fucking sucks and I keep blowing into it. Anyway. Someone suggested doing a top 5 style of video, and you know what? Why the hell not? Let's try it. So, this video most likely will end up quite a bit different than my usual ones. So if you came here for those lame and cringy jokes...
Are you a virgin?
Well, my apologies. There's only 2 things I wanted to say before I start with the video. The criteria I used, as well as ask you guys for feedback. It's a new type of video to me personally, one that I've never done before, so I do feel like that meme office doggo not knowing what the fuck he's doing. So if at any point of the video you feel like it got boring as fuck and you want to stop watching, please do leave a comment about it. And of course feel free to make it as harsh as you want, I really do appreciate any feedback. As for what I mean by top 5 areas in Diablo 2, they're not the best areas for magic finding, or rune finding, or leveling, or whatever. What I mean instead is top 5 areas that have the best design, so to speak. The most enjoyable, perhaps, is one way of putting it, but having in mind the places I chose, it doesn't make much sense. Anyway, the criteria I use to determine these places are: first of all, it has to be iconic. It must be one of those things that really makes playing Diablo feel, well, Diablo-ish. Second of all, memorable. I suppose it's pretty self-explanatory. Third of all, unique. I think overall Diablo 2 made a really good job on this one, but I'll get to that later as I want to avoid spoilers. As for the fourth one, I don't really have a good way of putting it, but perhaps streamlined? You know, nothing falls out of place kind of thing. It sort of combines uniqueness in a sense that the area has to have an idea behind it, and then it also needs monsters and other details to fit that idea well. A fantastic example would be scavengers in the desert of Act 2. That's a natural fit. However, something like oversized random trolls Urdars in a closed place like Durance of Hate, although it doesn't feel wrong, but thinking about it deeper, it's not a perfect fit. So with all these criteria in mind, here's my top 5 places in Diablo 2. Number 5. Telrash's Tombs. Though similar design was used elsewhere, it had something special about it. 12 identical tombs and only one being the correct one has some sort of charm. The design is pretty damn good. I mean, the idea is simple, ruins in the desert, and it is exactly that. In those ruins you will almost always find skeletons and scarabs, which, I mean, you expect to find there. Vampires and those fatso's trolls are debatable, but those lords are also undead, so I don't mind it as much. I was really having a tough time describing why I chose this place as a number 5, so I suppose it's just a combination of a well-designed area, the looks being pretty nice, and also being grim enough. Number 4. Act 3, Flare Jungle. Haha, you didn't expect that one, eh? But hear me out. Everyone remembers flayers. When you say flayer, you don't think about their brothers in Act 1. You always think about Act 3. However, when you say zombies, which act do you think about? I've seen them in just about all acts except for Act 4 maybe. Or skeleton, same deal. But flayers, everyone knows them. Another thing is the fact that they fit the jungle theme really well. Jungle isn't supposed to be easy to pass, so from those weird logs requiring you to cross the river at exactly that place, to those flayers coming from nowhere in numbers, from their weird high-pitched voices to their small spears and whatever those shooting sticks are called. Annoying? Hell yeah. Iconic? You gotta admit it with that one. Number 3. Chaos Sanctuary. Well, I think this just had to be mentioned. It's one of the most iconic places of Diablo 2. It's dark, gothic, and scary as fuck. It actually feels like hell is supposed to be. Monsters are no joke, so it's keeping you engaged throughout the entire area. And then at the end of it, you release Diablo, who then kills everything to have a serious one-on-one against you. And then he shoots freaking lasers and spits fire. That makes for a pretty epic fight. And look at the details. a big ass Satan sign in the middle of the sanctuary. Seals are also shaped like that. And as you advance through the sanctuary, you always remain surrounded by fire and lava. It's always visible through the windows, and in a lot of places the walls are torn down so it comes at an arm's reach. There's also the detail of lava shooting something into the air occasionally. I have no clue how to word it better, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Combine all these details and it feels like hell to me. So yeah, it's a fantastically designed place fitting Diablo's theme perfectly. Number 2. Maggot Lair. Yes, I actually mean it. It's not a joke. I honestly believe Maggot Lair is the second best area in Diablo 2. Full disclosure, my recent finds in Maggot Lair may have had an effect. Yes, I actually dropped a def cleaver while recording footage for this video. How about that? Anyway, back to the video. May have had an effect on my decision making. You know, subconscious stuff. But I do have an explanation for making this choice. So here's the deal. Diablo 2 isn't easy. Developers didn't intend to make it easy, and holy fucks did they not give a shit about user experience for the sake of making it challenging. Having in mind that games have been gradually shifting to more user-friendly, noob-friendly gameplay, it's always nice to get back to something like Diablo 2 and experience a proper challenge. Now, I'm not saying the game shouldn't be new player friendly, quite the opposite. It should start out easy, but then gradually get to impossible. I'd go as far as saying that letting every single casual gamer be able to finish the game in his first attempt is the opposite of making the game great, and especially giving the game a lot of replayability value. It only feels like an achievement when you had to put some effort in it, struggle even. But I suppose I'm getting sidetracked here, so back to the Maggot Lair. It's worms, bro. What do you expect? A tight hole in the ground, shaped like a circle, that worms dug. Well, it's exactly that. There's barely any room to move, it's hard to get past mobs, your merc gets stuck all the time. It fits the idea perfectly. You may not like it, but it does fit the idea behind the place. The monsters are a perfect fit as well. Worms, scarabs, and some mosquitoes. The stuff you find in the desert. Sure, Maggot Lair is hard as fuck, but that also makes it worth remembering. If you've paid any attention to what I was saying about Flare Jungle, and I fucking hope you did, it sounds similar, doesn't it? It's hard, therefore people remember it. But here's the difference. Maggot Lair is on a completely different level. Monsters actually hit for a lot, so you can't mindlessly teleport, and especially with other classes you still need to kill monsters in order to advance. You can't just avoid them. There's just not enough space. So therefore I believe Maggot Lair will always be easier to remember than Act 3, and therefore the higher rating. Number 1.
This place chills me to the bone.
Catacombs. To me, Catacombs is the most iconic place in the entire Diablo 2. The most dominant Diablo 2 style is grim, and Catacombs are exactly that. They also start with a fucking gorgeous cathedral, which instantly takes you back to Diablo 1. The Catacombs are also dark as fuck and scary, which probably are the things that most of us fell in love with in the first place. You open the door and you're hesitant to instantly rush in, because you know, especially in hardcore, somebody could be waiting there to
surprise butt sex.
or something along those lines. When was the last time you paid attention to the detail? All catacomb levels are filled with sarcophags. Then Dariel's level has a fucking blood well in the middle of it, with skulls just floating over there. There's some weird skeletons of random beasts, as well as skulls on sticks guarding the last door before you face the 5 times your size demon boss lady. It's just fucking epic. That's exactly why I'm playing Diablo 2, and exactly why I play hardcore. To this day, after playing Diablo 2 for probably 15 years, although with huge pauses, I still get my heart pumping once I'm in a tight spot. My voice cracks, I start squealing like a little bitch, but I fucking enjoy it. I fucking love it. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't say all the monsters are a natural fit for the area except for zombies, but then again, what are a natural fit except for skeletons and zombies? I couldn't personally name one that nobody would disagree with, but that also means that you can disagree why any monster doesn't belong there. With that said, the details, the fact that the very first act boss resides here, the grim atmosphere, it just outweighs everything else, and it's the #1 place for me in Diablo 2. So, with that said, what are your top places in Diablo 2? I'm sure a lot of you will disagree with my listing, and I'm actually a bit curious what kind of reasons you'd have for disagreeing. And yeah, with that said, that's it for the video. If you actually managed to listen through the entire of it, I sincerely thank you. Please do leave some feedback. This is my first video of such type. I know I'm not good at storytelling, especially in English, but I do want to learn it really badly. And I do believe there's no better way of learning something than actually doing it and then receiving some feedback. Feel free to be as harsh as you want, I don't mind it one bit. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a lovely day. Karma points for anyone who commented, and see you folks in my next video. Cheers! Hey, it sounds just like you smashing that subscribe button after seeing this video.